There he is, gorgeous man. You're looking for a long lens that's a zoom lens, but not a zoom lens. What you want is a prime, and particularly the 135 G Master F1.8, because it's awesome. And as a prime lens, gives you all the focal length in the world. So here we go, here's the review. 3 different gigs that I got to use this at, which was really lucky because I was really busy that week when I decided to actually borrow this from Sony. I did a portrait session, I did a gig, and I also did a corporate event as well. So 3 very different gigs, very different types of photography, and really trying to put this 135mm through its paces to see where it performs really well, but also where it doesn't. So let's go. We've got a aperture ring on the front here, which is actually really nice. I didn't use it that much, I'll be completely honest with you, but it's really nice and handy to have. More a kind of video-centric thing, but awesome. You've also got these custom buttons here, which you can program to do whatever you want them to do as well in the menu setup. But generally speaking, very straightforward and easy to use. AF, MF button, your distance thingy, majiggy, mabob, a very large filter size on the front. Yeah, but other than that, it's a very simplified lens. I don't find it complicated to use. You just pick it up, put it on your camera, point and shoot, and off you go. Yay. Well, there's one thing in particular that I really liked about this lens, and it's one thing that really sort of brought it about as a selling point for me. I would normally go for a 70 to 200, that's kind of my go-to, but with this I found that there's a lot of clarity of color, a lot of contrast in this lens, and I think that's to do with the fact that there's more lens elements in it compared to something like an 85mm. For me, that was a huge selling point. I love color, I love contrast. The sharpness in this lens is amazing. It's not actually that heavy. You would think it would be heavier, but I didn't find it to be a backbreaker, really. And generally speaking, it's just very simple. It's 135. It's a very different focal length to what I'm used to. 85 is normally my go-to, but I thought, well, let's try something new and try something different that's perhaps not a 70 to 200 that I've been sitting on for the last 14 years. So this really gave a lot of versatility. There were some areas where it struggled a little bit. For example, when you're shooting in a large space, sometimes you want that 200mm. So you're having to either go into APS-C mode in your camera and pop forward a little bit, or you're just gonna have to physically put yourself closer or crop it down. So it really depends on the need and the type of event that you're shooting, because there are other places where perhaps you're in a too tight of a scenario and therefore 135 isn't practical, so you just switch to something else. But generally speaking, if you set this up for portraits, it's brilliant. If you set this up for event work, you're going to find uses for it. It's great for weddings, it's great for all of the types of photography that you would expect to do with this lens. And to be fair, the images are sharp as hell. All in all, who does this suit? Event photographers, portrait photographers, this lens is absolutely 100% for you. I really, really like this lens. I think I might buy it, and I might actually convince Stuart on the camera to actually buy it as well, because it's awesome. Yay! Go and buy it, 135mm G Master.
When it comes to 135, it is a prime pretty much standard across the board. It's nice to have in your bag, it's super sharp, and they have a lower depth of field like you do out in the 70 to 200s. When it comes to a prime shooting, it's one of those things where, like, zooms are great. They give you a great amount of versatility, but you also can become a little bit lazy when you're shooting them because you've got the ability to be so versatile. We're actually shooting this on a 70 to 200 right now. But when it comes to a 135 prime, because you've got that background separation, and of course when it comes to Sony, you've got the super sharp G Master glass in here, so you know the shot's going to come out excellent. When you pair this up with something like an A1 at 8K, the quality of the footage you're going to be able to get out of that is going to just be exquisite, to be honest with you. What we're going to do now is an autofocus test. We're going to get Tyler to walk over that way and then walk towards the camera. We're going to swap over to this camera straight away. Okay, walk backwards. Okay, walk forward. You can still talk, Tyler, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know, I can still talk. Oh my God, I'm so beautiful. Look at me.
Stellar performance out of a lens that's just going to be pretty awesome across the board, to be honest.
I've actually really enjoyed this 135 G Master. In all honesty, it's a lens I'm really thinking about adding to my bag, and to be honest with you, I think you all should as well. This is a really sharp lens, really useful for all different scenarios. Oh, and there's one thing I forgot to mention. If you haven't liked, followed, and subscribed to this channel, you really should do that, because it really helps us build traction and get this out to more people. And Stuart would really appreciate it as well. So get a 135 G Master and subscribe to the channel. Do it!